Hey there, night owls, early birds, and everyone wrestling with the clock right now. Welcome back to Hafee Sleep, your cozy corner for turning science into sweeter dreams and brighter tomorrows. Ever stare at the ceiling at 2 a.m., wondering if you can actually slow down time? Or scroll through videos while the rest of the world snoozes, craving answers about aging, energy, and feeling truly alive? Well, grab your favorite cozy drink, because today's deep dive is for you. Today, we're cracking open the real secrets your cells whisper while you sleep. Forget magic pills or sci-fi fantasies for a second. What if the biggest lever to slow aging and boost your vitality is already in your hands and happens mostly while you're unconscious? We're talking cutting-edge science on zombie cells, cellular repair crews, and your nightly power wash mode, explained in plain, pajama-friendly language. If you're ready to feel more energized, resilient, and truly own your health span, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell. We turn complex biology into actionable sleep and wellness wins. Don't miss out. Let me know in the comments right now, where in the world are you watching this, and what's your local time? Are you brewing morning coffee in Toronto, unwinding after sunset in Sydney, or burning the midnight oil in London? I read every comment. Your journey inspires this channel, and if this resonates, give the video a thumbs up. It helps so much. All right, let's settle in. Whether you're tucked in bed or spilling coffee at your desk, let's uncover how your body fights aging for you every single night. The secret war inside your cells starts now. Imagine you're a car, a shiny, new, perfectly tuned machine. But as the years roll by, tiny scratches appear on your paintwork. Your engine starts to sputter. Parts wear down. That's aging. A slow accumulation of dings and rust. But what if you had a magic polish that removed scratches? Or a mechanic who could swap worn parts for fresh ones? What if aging wasn't a one-way street? Buckle up, because scientists are now asking, can we hit the brakes on aging or even throw it in reverse? Let's start with the big question. What is aging, really? Firstly, I will explain in simple words so you can have a rough idea of what is aging and how can we stop it naturally, as we are yet far away from anti-aging drugs at your nearest pharmacy. The scientific details of aging and the significance of steps I am going to tell you in a while will be explained after equipping you some basic knowledge about aging, as you might fall asleep before you finish this story. And before you fell asleep, I want to tell you the secrets so you start your next day with a resolution. I will not allow my body cells to age me as easily as they want. So let's start. Aging is not just wrinkles or creaky knees. At its core, aging is damage. Imagine your cells are like a bustling city. Over time, trash piles up, damaged proteins and fats. Potholes appear in the roads, DNA breaks. Power plants leak smoke, mitochondria misfire. And worst of all, some citizens turn into grumpy toxic neighbors who poison everyone around them. These are called senescent cells, or zombie cells. They refuse to die, spewing out inflammatory chemicals that damage healthy cells nearby. Now comes the answer to the question you are waiting to be answered: how to stop aging. But before you picture a reverse aging pill next to the aspirin in your drawer, let's talk reality. Science is sprinting, but we're not there yet. The good news? You don't need to wait. Right now, you can slow aging dramatically, naturally. How? Let's break it down. Now, first we talk about simple steps you can take to stop aging naturally. Scientific explanation of these things will follow, but first, let's take a look what you can do in day-to-day routine. The thumb rule for slow aging or anti-aging is to put you and your body under controlled stress. Here are things you can do to achieve this controlled stress. First and the foremost, eat less but nutritiously. When you slightly reduce how much you eat without starving yourself, it activates your body's repair systems. This is called caloric restriction or intermittent fasting. It makes your cells clean up damage and work more efficiently. Try skipping snacks and having a 12-16 hour fasting window, like 7 p.m. to 11 a.m. When you eat less, without starving yourself, you actually send powerful signals to your body to slow down aging. This happens because your cells sense a mild stress when food is limited, and they respond by switching into repair and maintenance mode. Think of it like this. When food is plentiful, your body is focused on growth, storing energy, building fat, and dividing cells quickly. But when food is scarce, even just for a short time, it goes into survival mode. It stops wasting energy on unnecessary growth and instead starts fixing damage. One of the ways it does this is through a process called autophagy. That word means self-eating, but don't worry. It's not as scary as it sounds. Autophagy is your cell's built-in recycling system. When you're not eating, your body starts cleaning house. It breaks down old, damaged parts of cells and recycles them into new, healthy components. This reduces the buildup of junk and waste that can lead to aging and disease. Intermittent fasting works in a similar way. When you go for, say, 14 or 16 hours without eating, you give your body a chance to switch from storing energy to repairing itself. Your insulin levels drop, which helps keep your cells more sensitive to insulin. A good thing, because insulin resistance is linked to aging and diseases like diabetes. Your inflammation levels go down, and your body may even start making more growth factors that help with repair. Meanwhile, eating too much or too often has the opposite effect. When you're constantly feeding, your body stays in growth mode all the time. Your insulin levels remain high. Excess energy gets stored as fat, especially around the belly. Chronic overfeeding leads to low-grade inflammation throughout the body. Your cells accumulate more damage because they're busy processing all that food instead of taking time to clean and repair. Too much food also produces more free radicals, those reactive molecules that can damage DNA, proteins, and cell membranes. Over years, this kind of damage adds up. It's like never taking your car in for maintenance while constantly flooring the gas pedal. Eventually, things start to break down. Many animal studies show that when you reduce calories moderately without causing malnutrition, animals live longer and stay healthier. They get fewer age-related diseases. Humans aren't lab mice, of course, but research suggests similar benefits. People who practice moderate caloric restriction or intermittent fasting often have better blood sugar control, lower blood pressure, reduced inflammation, and healthier cholesterol levels. The key is that eating less, at least some of the time, tells your body to prioritize quality over quantity. It stops unnecessary cell growth, which is a risk for cancer, and starts fixing the damage that naturally builds up over time. It's not about starving yourself or being miserable. It's about giving your cells the chance to do what they're designed to do: maintain, repair, and stay healthy for longer. That's why many scientists think mild caloric restriction and intermittent fasting are some of the most promising natural tools we have for slowing aging. It's like giving your body a break so it can focus on keeping you young inside. But what we should be eat? Plants are full of nutrients that fight aging. Fill half your plate with vegetables and fruits of many colors, Add nuts, seeds, beans, whole grains, fish, and healthy fats like olive oil. Minimize sugar and processed foods, which fuel inflammation and damage cells. Have you ever wondered why people talk about taking ice baths or sitting in saunas for health? It seems crazy at first. Why would you want to make yourself uncomfortably cold or hot on purpose? But this idea has real science behind it. Exposing yourself to brief, controlled extremes of temperature is called hormesis. It's when you give your body a mild stress that actually makes it stronger and more resilient in the long run. Let's start with cold. When you get really cold, say in an ice bath, cold shower, or even outside in winter without too many layers, your body reacts immediately. Your blood vessels constrict to keep core temperature up. Your body starts to shiver to generate heat. But beyond that, at the cellular level, something interesting happens. Cold exposure activates brown fat, also called brown adipose tissue, which burns regular fat for heat. This increases your metabolism. But the really cool part is that cold triggers the production of certain proteins called cold shock proteins. These proteins help maintain the integrity of your cells, stabilize RNA, and support healthy cell function. Cold exposure also seems to reduce inflammation. Inflammation is a big driver of aging. It's like a slow-burning fire in your body that damages cells over time. By reducing baseline inflammation, cold exposure can help protect cells from aging-related damage. Additionally, cold stress boosts production of norepinephrine, a hormone and neurotransmitter that can sharpen focus, improve mood, and lower inflammation. Scientists also think that cold exposure can promote autophagy, which is your cell's process of cleaning out damaged components. When cells are exposed to stress, they switch on these repair pathways to get rid of broken or dysfunctional parts. So, by making yourself uncomfortably cold for a short time, you're essentially telling your cells, "Wake up, time to do maintenance." Now let's talk about heat. Saunas are probably the best-known way people use heat for health. When you sit in a hot sauna, your heart rate goes up, blood vessels expand, and you start sweating. It feels like exercise in some ways. On the cellular level, the heat stress triggers something called heat shock proteins. These are molecules that help protect other proteins in your cells from damage or misfolding. Over time, our proteins get beat up. They fold the wrong way, clump together, and stop working right. That's one big reason cells age. Heat shock proteins act like little helpers that refold these damaged proteins or tag them for disposal. Studies show that regular sauna use is linked to lower risk of heart disease, dementia, and even death from all causes. One theory is that by triggering heat shock proteins, you're helping maintain cellular quality control. It's like running a cleaning crew through your body. Saunas also improve circulation, reduce chronic inflammation, and support cardiovascular health. Heat stress also promotes autophagy, just like cold. When cells are stressed by high temperatures, they start cleaning out and recycling damaged parts. This can help remove dysfunctional mitochondria, those energy-producing parts of the cell, and encourage growth of new, healthy ones. Interestingly, both cold and heat exposure increase production of certain longevity-related genes and pathways. One of these is FOXO3, a gene linked to stress resistance and longer lifespan. Another is AMPK, an energy sensor that encourages the body to repair itself and burn fat. These genes help cells respond to stress in ways that protect them from aging. It's important to note that these stresses have to be mild and brief. Prolonged extreme cold or heat can obviously be dangerous. but short, controlled exposures push your cells just enough to trigger beneficial responses without harming you. It's like the difference between lifting weights to build muscle, good stress, and trying to lift something that will break your back, bad stress. This whole concept is part of why many scientists see aging as something we can slow down or partially reverse. By giving our bodies these small, controlled challenges, like fasting, exercise, heat, or cold, we activate ancient survival pathways that keep cells young, efficient, and less prone to damage. So the next time you shiver in a cold shower or sweat it out in a sauna, remember, you're not just toughing it out. You're giving your cells the signal to clean house, repair damage, and stay young longer. It's one of nature's built-in anti-aging tricks, hiding in plain sight. Let's talk about why exercise is such a powerful anti-aging tool and why it works so well even though it feels like you're putting your body through stress, like running from a lion attack. When you exercise, you're deliberately pushing your body into a state of controlled stress. Your heart rate goes up, you breathe harder, your muscles burn. At first glance, it seems like you're wearing yourself out. But what you're really doing is sending your cells a strong message. Get stronger, adapt, survive. This is a classic example of hormesis, which is when a little bit of stress actually makes you healthier. Imagine your ancestors running from predators or chasing prey. Their bodies had to evolve to handle these bursts of extreme effort. The human body still has those same built-in responses today. When you exercise, you're mimicking that old survival stress, and your cells respond by turning on repair and rejuvenation systems. One of the biggest changes happens in your mitochondria. These are tiny structures inside your cells that act like power plants, producing energy for everything you do. As you age, mitochondria get damaged and less efficient, which means less energy and more harmful byproducts. Exercise forces your cells to make more mitochondria and repair the ones you have. This process is called mitochondrial biogenesis. It's like renovating your energy factories so they work like new again. Exercise also improves how your body handles glucose and insulin. Over time, poor blood sugar control leads to chronic inflammation and cell damage, a major driver of aging. When you work out, your muscles soak up glucose without needing much insulin. This reduces insulin resistance, lowering the risk of diabetes and other age-related diseases. Another key benefit is reducing chronic inflammation. Aging is often called inflammaging because of the persistent, low-level inflammation that damages tissues over time. Exercise triggers short-term inflammation while you're doing it. Your body treats it like an emergency. But then, it responds by producing anti-inflammatory molecules that calm things down afterward. Over the long term, regular exercise lowers overall inflammation in your body. Exercise also stimulates autophagy. That's your cell's built-in recycling system. When you put them under the mild stress of exercise, they respond by cleaning out damaged components and misfolded proteins. This prevents the accumulation of cellular junk that can interfere with normal function. Think of it like your cells taking out the trash and fixing broken parts every time you move. Another big part of exercise's anti-aging power is its effect on telomeres. Telomeres are the protective caps on the ends of your chromosomes that shorten over time. When they get too short, cells stop dividing or die. Studies show that people who exercise regularly tend to have longer telomeres than people who don't. It's as if movement signals your cells to protect these caps better, slowing down the aging clock at a genetic level. Exercise also affects stem cells. These are special cells in your body that can turn into many different types of tissue. As you age, stem cells get sluggish or die off, which makes it harder to repair damage. But exercise wakes them up, encouraging them to keep working, dividing, and maintaining your tissues. This helps you regenerate muscle, bone, blood vessels, and even parts of your brain. Speaking of the brain, exercise has remarkable anti-aging effects there too. It increases blood flow, delivers more oxygen and nutrients, and even promotes the growth of new neurons, a process called neurogenesis. It also boosts levels of a protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which supports existing neurons and encourages the formation of new connections. That's one reason exercise is linked to better memory, mood, and lower risk of dementia. What's fascinating is that these benefits come from the body interpreting exercise as a survival challenge. It's as if your cells say, "Oh, we're being chased by a lion. We need to get stronger, faster, more efficient." They ramp up repair, build new energy systems, clear out waste, and improve communication. Your body doesn't know you're just jogging on a treadmill or lifting weights in the gym. It reacts as if it has to save your life. Over time, these repeated signals remodel your body at the cellular level. You become more resilient, with cells that are better at repairing themselves, managing energy, and avoiding the mistakes that lead to age-related decline. So, exercise is not just about burning calories or building muscles you can show off. It's a deeply biological, almost primal way to tell your body to stay young. By recreating the stress of running from danger or hunting for food in a safe, modern way, you're giving your cells the same evolutionary cues that kept your ancestors strong and alive. That's why making yourself run from the lion regularly, even if the lion is just your own willpower pushing you to work out, is one of the most effective anti-aging strategies known to science. Your cells listen to that message loud and clear. Don't slow down. Don't decay. Get ready to survive. And in the process, you stay younger, longer. I said controlled stress is thumb rule for slow aging. But there is another good way to slow aging, and that is actually doing absolutely nothing. Yes, it is true. It is quality sleep. Let's imagine you're looking at sleep not as wasted time, but as your body's most important repair shift, like the overnight cleaning crew in a big office building. When you sleep deeply and well, your body isn't resting in the sense of doing nothing. It's actually incredibly busy fixing damage, cleaning waste, and preparing your cells to work better the next day. At the cellular level, sleep is when a lot of repair processes get switched on. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone. Despite the name, growth hormone isn't just for kids. It's critical throughout life for repairing tissues, healing wounds, and maintaining muscle. When growth hormone is released, it tells your cells to ramp up protein synthesis, which means making new proteins to replace the ones that got damaged during the day. Think of it as replacing worn-out parts in a machine. Sleep is also when your DNA repair systems become more active. Every day, your cells suffer damage to their DNA from things like UV light, pollution, and even normal metabolism. When you sleep, enzymes come in to find and fix those breaks and errors. If you don't sleep enough, this repair process is incomplete, and DNA damage accumulates over time, which can lead to mutations, cancer, and general cellular aging. One of the most fascinating discoveries about sleep is the brain's glymphatic system. During deep sleep, your brain cells actually shrink slightly to create space between them. This allows cerebrospinal fluid to wash through the brain, flushing out waste products like beta amyloid, a protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. Without enough sleep, this waste doesn't get cleared properly, increasing the risk of neurodegenerative diseases and making your brain age faster. Sleep also regulates your immune system. When you sleep well, your body produces and releases cytokines, proteins that help control inflammation and fight infections. Without enough sleep, inflammation rises throughout the body. Chronic inflammation is a major driver of aging. It damages tissues, promotes heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, and even contributes to wrinkles. So quality sleep helps keep your immune system balanced, ready to fight threats without overreacting in a way that hurts you. At the level of metabolism, sleep is crucial for controlling hormones like insulin and cortisol. When you don't sleep well, your cells become more resistant to insulin, making it harder to control blood sugar. High blood sugar over time damages blood vessels and organs, speeds up cellular aging, and increases the risk of diabetes. Poor sleep also raises cortisol, the stress hormone, which breaks down muscle, weakens the immune system, and promotes fat storage, particularly around the belly. Telomeres, the protective caps on the ends of your chromosomes that shorten with age, are also influenced by sleep. Studies have found that people who sleep less or have poor sleep quality tend to have shorter telomeres. Short telomeres mean cells can't divide as many times, which is one of the fundamental limits on cellular lifespan. By sleeping well, you help preserve your telomeres and maintain the ability of your cells to renew and repair themselves. Sleep is also essential for maintaining the balance between cellular cleanup and building new structures. One of the key processes here is autophagy, the cell's internal recycling program. During sleep, especially fasting overnight, autophagy is activated more strongly. Cells break down old, damaged components and reuse the parts to build fresh, functional machinery. Without enough sleep, this cleanup gets disrupted, and cells accumulate damaged proteins and malfunctioning organelles that interfere with healthy function. In short, sleep is like hitting the reset button for your entire body. It's the time when your cells can shift from defending and working to repairing and rebuilding. Skimping on sleep isn't just being a little tired the next day. It's like skipping all the maintenance your body needs to stay young and healthy. Over time, this neglect adds up to faster aging, higher disease risk, and worse quality of life. That's why sleep scientists and longevity researchers often say sleep is one of the easiest, cheapest, and most effective anti-aging treatments available. It costs nothing but time, and the benefits go right down to the DNA inside your cells, helping you stay stronger, sharper, and younger for longer. And lastly, there is stress. When you feel stressed, your body reacts as if you're in danger. It doesn't matter if it's a work deadline, money worries, or an actual threat. Your brain triggers the release of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. In the short term, this response is useful. It raises your heart rate, sends more blood to your muscles, sharpens your focus. It's your fight or flight system kicking in, designed to help you escape predators or other threats. But the problem comes when this stress response stays switched on for days, months, or even years. That's what we call chronic stress, and it's a major driver of aging. At the cellular level, chronic stress changes how your body functions in ways that slowly wear you down. One of the key things cortisol does is increase blood sugar, so you have energy to run from danger. But if cortisol stays high all the time, it causes your blood sugar to remain elevated. This can lead to insulin resistance, which damages cells and contributes to inflammation. Over time, chronic inflammation is like rust spreading through your body. It damages tissues, organs, and even your DNA. Stress hormones also directly harm your immune system. In small doses, Cortisol actually controls inflammation, which is good. But in chronic stress, your immune system becomes unbalanced. It might overreact to harmless things, causing allergies or autoimmune problems, while being worse at fighting infections. The persistent low-level inflammation driven by chronic stress is a big part of inflammaging, the idea that your body slowly burns itself out. Chronic stress also damages telomeres. Telomeres are the protective caps at the ends of your chromosomes. Every time a cell divides, its telomeres get a little shorter. When they get too short, the cell can't divide anymore. It becomes senescent, a kind of zombie cell that releases harmful chemicals, or dies. Studies have found that people under chronic stress have shorter telomeres than those who manage stress well. It's as if stress accelerates the cellular clock, pushing your cells toward dysfunction and old age faster. Then there's the effect on your mitochondria, the little power plants in your cells. Stress can damage mitochondrial function. Your cells become less efficient at producing energy and generate more harmful byproducts called reactive oxygen species, which damage proteins, DNA, and cell membranes. Over time, this mitochondrial dysfunction is a hallmark of aging. Stress also affects your brain. High cortisol levels over long periods can damage the hippocampus, the area involved in learning and memory. It can shrink parts of the brain and disrupt connections between neurons, leading to cognitive decline. Now let's flip the script. What happens when you manage stress well? When you meditate, breathe deeply, spend time in nature, or talk with friends, your body activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode. This calms your heart rate, lowers blood pressure, and reduces cortisol levels. On a cellular level, lower cortisol means less chronic inflammation. Your immune system can return to balance, fighting infections effectively without overreacting. Your blood sugar stabilizes, reducing the damaging effects of insulin resistance. Telomeres are protected from excessive shortening, helping your cells keep dividing in a healthy way for longer. Managing stress also supports healthier mitochondria. With less oxidative stress, they work more efficiently, producing clean energy with fewer harmful byproducts. Your cells don't accumulate as much damage over time. Your brain benefits too. Lower stress preserves the size and function of the hippocampus, maintaining memory and learning. It also keeps neural connections strong, supporting emotional regulation and mental sharpness. Even at the level of gene expression, stress management can make a difference. There's evidence that practices like meditation can influence which genes are switched on or off, favoring anti-inflammatory, repair-promoting pathways over damaging ones. In a way, learning to manage stress is like giving your cells a peaceful environment to work in. Instead of always being in crisis mode, burning resources recklessly and accumulating damage, they can focus on maintenance and repair. It's like switching your body from emergency survival mode to long-term thriving mode. So, when people say stress ages you, they're not just talking about gray hair or frown lines. They're describing real, measurable changes in your cells that make you older, faster. And when you manage stress well, you're telling your body and your cells, it's safe. You can focus on staying healthy. That simple shift can make a huge difference in how you age, not just in years lived, but in the quality and vitality of those years. Now you know how can you stop aging naturally. Now comes the science of aging and how can we slow or even reverse it. Let's rewind a bit. For decades, scientists understood that aging wasn't just random decay. They identified key hallmarks, fundamental processes that go awry as we get older. We touched on some. DNA damage accumulating like unrepaired road damage, proteins misfolding and clumping like trash that the garbage trucks can't handle, mitochondria becoming inefficient like rusty old generators, and of course those zombie senescent cells setting up toxic block parties. But another critical hallmark is the epigenome. Think of your DNA as the incredibly dense, complex instruction manual for building and running you. It contains all the genes, but not every gene needs to be active in every cell at every moment. Your heart cell genes are different from your skin cell genes, right? The epigenome is like a layer of billions of tiny switches, tags, and bookmarks on top of your DNA. It tells each cell which chapters of the manual to read carefully, which pages to bookmark for later, and which entire sections to glue shut and ignore. It's what makes a heart cell and not a brain cell, even though they both have the same DNA manual. Here's the crucial part about aging. The epigenome gets damaged and dysregulated over time. It's like the instruction manual gets dropped in a puddle. The ink smudges. The sticky notes fall off. Pages get stuck together randomly. The carefully placed bookmarks get lost. Suddenly, the cell can't find the right instructions easily. It might start reading the wrong chapters, turning on genes that should be silent, like those promoting inflammation or cancer, and silencing genes that are vital for repair and maintenance. The cell forgets what it's supposed to be doing. It becomes confused, sluggish, and prone to errors. This epigenetic noise is a massive driver of the aging process. It contributes to all the other hallmarks. It makes DNA repair less efficient, allows more cellular trash to pile up, and can even push healthy cells into becoming those dreaded zombies. For years, a brilliant scientist named Dr. Shinya Yamanaka had shown there was a way to reset this epigenome, at least in the lab. Back in 2006, he discovered that by forcefully activating just 4 specific genes, now called the Yamanaka factors, OCT4, SOX2, KLF4, and c-MYC, he could take a mature, specialized cell, like a skin cell, and literally rewind it all the way back to an embryonic-like state. This rewound cell, called an induced pluripotent stem cell, iPSC, loses its identity as a skin cell. Its epigenome is completely erased and reset to a blank, youthful slate, like wiping a corrupted computer hard drive back to factory settings. Suddenly, that cell has the potential to become any type of cell in the body again: heart, brain, muscle, you name it. It was a revolutionary discovery that earned Yamanaka a Nobel Prize. But here's the catch. Rewinding a cell all the way back to an embryonic state inside a living organism. That's incredibly dangerous. It's like demolishing an old building in a crowded city block with no plan for rebuilding. Embryonic cells divide rapidly and uncontrollably. That's essentially the definition of cancer. Trying this Yamanaka method in a whole animal caused massive tumors and chaos. It was a powerful proof of concept for reprogramming, but clearly not a viable anti-aging therapy for living, breathing creatures. This is where Dr. Sinclair's 2023 work comes in, and why it was so groundbreaking. His team asked a daring question. What if you didn't need to rewind the cell all the way back to an embryonic state? What if you could just rewind it back to a younger, healthier version of itself? Instead of demolishing the building entirely, could you just meticulously restore it to its former glory? Instead of wiping the hard drive completely, could you just remove the corrupt files and restore a clean backup from a few years ago? Their ingenious approach involved using not genes, but chemical cocktails. Genes are powerful but blunt tools. chemicals can be more precise and controllable. They knew that the Yamanaka factors worked by resetting the epigenome. So, they hunted for chemical compounds that could mimic the effects of those factors, compounds that could nudge the epigenome towards a younger state without forcing the cell into a dangerous, uncontrolled embryonic state. Think of it like finding a gentle cleaning solution and polishing cloth for the instruction manual, rather than throwing the whole manual into a shredder and demanding it rewrite itself from scratch. After painstaking research, they identified specific combinations of molecules. These weren't exotic, unknown substances. Some were already being studied for other purposes. The key was finding the right blend and the precise timing. They applied these cocktails to cells taken from the retinas of old mice, cells that were damaged and dysfunctional, contributing to age-related vision loss. They also tested them on human skin cells that had been aged artificially in the lab, and then they watched closely. What happened next was astonishing. Within just a few days, less than a week, the old cells began to transform. It wasn't an instant magic trick, but a visible rejuvenation under the microscope. Remember those smudges, lost bookmarks, and stuck pages on the DNA instruction manual? The chemical cocktails seemed to be gently lifting the smudges, replacing the lost bookmarks, and carefully unsticking the pages. The epigenome was being partially reset. The cells weren't becoming embryonic. They were regaining the epigenetic signature of much younger, healthier versions of themselves. The consequences of this epigenetic reset were profound. Suddenly, these youngified cells started behaving like energetic youngsters again. One of the most crucial changes was in DNA repair. Remember those potholes in the city's roads? Well, the city's repair crews, which had become slow and inefficient with age, suddenly sprang back into action. The cells became dramatically better at detecting breaks and errors in their DNA and fixing them correctly. This is vital because unrepaired DNA damage is a fundamental cause of aging and a major risk factor for diseases like cancer. Next, they tackled the cellular trash problem. Every cell has a sophisticated waste disposal system called autophagy, literally meaning self-eating. It's like the city's fleet of garbage trucks and recycling plants. As we age, autophagy becomes sluggish. Trash piles up, damaged proteins, worn-out mitochondria, fatty blobs. This junk, called lipofuscin, is sometimes called age pigment and literally gums up the works. Sinclair's team observed that their chemically rejuvenated cells dramatically ramped up autophagy. It was like the garbage trucks got turbocharged and the recycling plants started running 24/7. The cells became efficient housekeepers again, clearing out the accumulated debris that was weighing them down and causing damage. But what about those grumpy zombie cells, the senescent cells poisoning the neighborhood? This is where it gets even more interesting. The chemical cocktails didn't just ignore them. They seemed to encourage them to finally do the right thing. Many of the senescent cells, sensing their epigenome shifting towards a healthier state, actually underwent apoptosis, programmed cell death. It's like the toxic citizens, seeing the city being beautifully restored around them, decided to peacefully move out instead of staying and causing trouble. For the few zombie cells that stubbornly remained, the rejuvenated healthy cells around them, now functioning better, were likely better equipped to manage the inflammation or even signal the immune system to come and clear them out. The overall inflammatory environment, that pro-inflammatory microenvironment Dr. Amor Vegas described, began to calm down significantly. The city's atmosphere became less toxic and more conducive to health and productivity. Now, why is this approach of using chemical cocktails so significant, especially compared to the original Yamanaka gene method? Several reasons make it incredibly promising. Safety. Avoiding genetic modification is a huge deal. Inserting genes into cells can be unpredictable. The genes might insert themselves in the wrong place in the DNA, disrupting other important genes and potentially causing cancer. The Yamanaka factor c-Myc in particular is a known cancer-promoting gene. Using chemicals sidesteps this risk entirely. You're not altering the DNA code itself. You're just using temporary molecules to influence the epigenome, the reading of that code. It's a much more controllable and potentially reversible approach. Precision control. The researchers believe they achieved partial reprogramming. They didn't blast the cells with the reprogramming factors for long enough or strongly enough to push them all the way back to an embryonic state. Instead, they found a sweet spot. Just enough reprogramming to reverse the damaging epigenetic marks of aging without erasing the cell's identity. It's like finding the exact right pressure and duration to clean the manual without ripping the pages. This level of control is much harder to achieve with permanent gene insertion. Practicality delivery. Injecting genes into every cell in a human body is currently science fiction. It's incredibly complex, expensive, and risky. Delivering chemical compounds, however, is a challenge medicine has been tackling for centuries. We have pills, injections, creams, and increasingly sophisticated drug delivery systems, like nanoparticles, that can target specific tissues. While getting the right cocktail to the right cells throughout the body is still a hurdle, it's a fundamentally more approachable problem than whole-body genetic engineering. Speed. The fact that this rejuvenation happened in less than a week in a dish is mind-boggling. It suggests the epigenome, and thus the cell's fundamental aging state, is far more malleable than we ever imagined. It doesn't take years to reverse decay. The cell has an innate ability to restore itself if given the right signals. Of course, this is still very early days. The cheers from the scientific community were accompanied by cautious whispers of, "Let's see if this works outside a dish, and in animals, and eventually safely in humans." Moving from cells in a lab dish to a living, breathing mouse, let alone a human, is a monumental leap. Scientists immediately started asking critical questions. Could these chemical cocktails be delivered safely to specific tissues in a live animal? Would they actually reverse age-related decline in vision, muscle strength, brain function, or overall frailty? Crucially, could this be done without increasing the risk of cancer? While the chemical approach avoids the direct cancer risk of inserting genes like c-Myc, there's always a theoretical concern that rejuvenating cells too much, or rejuvenating cells that are precancerous, could promote tumor growth. Extensive animal testing is absolutely essential to answer these safety and efficacy questions. The initial results in live mice, however, have been encouraging. Sinclair's team and others have since shown that carefully controlled delivery of similar reprogramming factors, sometimes genes, sometimes chemicals, can improve organ function and even extend lifespan in mice with accelerated aging diseases, and more recently, hints of benefit in normal-aged mice. For example, delivering reprogramming factors specifically to damaged nerves in the eye has shown promise in restoring vision in mice with glaucoma or age-related vision loss. It's like sending the urban renewal crew specifically to the neglected industrial district and watching it spring back to life, boosting the whole city's economy. The implications, if this research continues to bear fruit and can be translated safely to humans are staggering. It wouldn't just be about smoothing wrinkles or running a faster mile at 70, though those would be nice side effects. It would be about tackling the root causes of the diseases that plague us as we age: heart failure, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, macular degeneration, arthritis, frailty. By reversing the underlying cellular and epigenetic damage, we could potentially prevent or even cure these conditions, not just manage their symptoms. It shifts the focus from fighting individual diseases one by one to targeting the foundational process of aging itself, making the entire city resilient again so it doesn't succumb to specific disasters like fires, disease in the first place. Dr. Sinclair himself, ever the optimist and practitioner of what he preaches, looking remarkably youthful, often talks about aging not as an inevitable fate, but as a disease, a treatable condition. His work with chemical reprogramming is a bold step towards that audacious goal. It suggests a future where periodic epigenetic tune-ups, perhaps via targeted injections or specialized drugs, could help our bodies maintain their youthful repair capabilities for decades longer. Instead of our cells slowly succumbing to the smudged manual and accumulating damage, we could periodically restore the clarity of the instructions, keeping the cellular city vibrant, functional, and resistant to decay. The dream isn't necessarily immortality. It's about vastly extending our years of healthy, vibrant life, our health span. It's about ensuring the final chapters of life aren't dominated by frailty and disease, but by continued vitality and engagement. So, while we're still a long way from picking up our reverse aging prescription at the pharmacy, the work of Sinclair and others is illuminating a path that was once thought to be pure fantasy. They've shown, in the controlled environment of the lab, that the aging clock isn't just unidirectional. It can be ticked backwards at the most fundamental cellular level, using nothing more complex than carefully chosen molecules. It's a powerful testament to the incredible plasticity and resilience inherent in life itself. The bustling city within us, given the right tools and signals, remembers how to rebuild. The magic polish for the scratches, the expert mechanic for the worn parts. They might not be magic at all, but sophisticated chemical keys unlocking our cells' own innate ability to rejuvenate. And that is a discovery that changes everything we thought we knew about growing old. It injects a powerful dose of hope into the science of longevity, painting a future where aging might not be stopped completely, but its most damaging effects could be dramatically slowed, reversed, and perhaps one day consigned to history. The clock may not be unstoppable after all. We might just learn how to wind it back. Now let's get into the biology of anti-aging and how it can be done. So we've established the problem. Those stubborn zombie cells, senescent cells, camping out in our tissues, throwing toxic tantrums and speeding up the aging process. And we've glimpsed the future. Scientists developing specialized senolytic drugs designed to hunt them down and eliminate them, like elite cellular cleanup crews. The mouse studies are dazzling. Old rodents bouncing back with more energy, shinier fur, and healthier organs after senolytic treatment. Human trials, especially those helping childhood cancer survivors battling accelerated aging, are incredibly promising. But let's be real. Sitting back and waiting for that magic zombie zapping pill to hit pharmacy shelves isn't exactly an action plan. The good news? You don't have to just wait. You can actually start today by recruiting nature's own, gentler version of senolytic agents. How? By inviting certain delicious foods onto your plate regularly. Think of it as activating your internal neighborhood watch program, armed with tasty tools, Here our unlikely drug duo is dasatinib and quercetin, D plus Q. While dasatinib is a potent prescription medication, its partner, quercetin, is something entirely different. It's not made in a high-tech lab. It's made by plants. It's a vibrant yellow pigment, a type of flavonoid that plants produce partly to protect themselves from sun damage, pests, and diseases. Lucky for us, when we eat plants rich in quercetin, we get to borrow some of that protective power. Think of it as a natural, mild-mannered saboteur for our cellular zombies. Now, why does quercetin potentially help with senescent cells? It comes down to those pro-survival networks the zombies desperately rely on. Quercetin subtly interferes with several pathways these networks use. Imagine the zombie cell has built complex alarm systems and reinforced bunkers to ignore the self-destruct orders constantly pinging it. Quercetin is like a sneaky little agent that slips in and starts jamming specific alarm frequencies or tampering with the bunker's door locks. It doesn't blow everything up. It just makes it harder for the zombie to maintain its defiant, toxic existence. It weakens their defenses just enough that the cell's own natural self-destruct mechanisms, apoptosis, might finally kick in. Plus, quercetin is a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory agent. This means it directly combats the damage caused by the toxic sludge the zombies are pumping out. It's like sending in a cleanup crew with neutralizing spray while the saboteur is working on the bunker. So, where do you find this stealthy cellular agent? Nature's quercetin bounty is surprisingly accessible and delicious. Apples. An apple a day keeps the doctor away might be an old adage, but modern science suggests Grandma was on to something. The highest concentration of quercetin is usually found right under the skin, so embrace those crisp, colorful skins, whether it's a tart Granny Smith, a sweet Honey Crisp, or a deep red Fuji. Every crunchy bite delivers quercetin straight to your cellular neighborhoods. Picture tiny yellow quercetin molecules floating through your bloodstream, slipping into tissues and whispering to the zombies, "Hey, maybe it's time to pack it in." Onions. Don't cry for them, embrace them. Onions, especially the vibrant red onions, are absolute quercetin powerhouses. The layers you peel back are packed with it. When you saute them until they're sweet and caramelized, toss them raw into salads for a sharp bite, or layer them on a sandwich, you're adding a significant quercetin boost. Think of the pungent compounds that make your eyes water as part of the plant's defense arsenal. An arsenal you're now commandeering against your internal zombies. Capers. These little green flavor bombs, often found bobbing in brine near the olives in your grocery store, punch way above their weight class in the quercetin department. Ounce for ounce, they are one of the richest known sources. Their intense, briny, lemony flavor adds a fantastic kick to sauces like piccata, salads, smoked salmon dishes, or even sprinkled on pizza. Each tiny caper is like a concentrated quercetin grenade, small but potent. Other quercetin helpers. Don't stop there. Kale and other dark leafy greens, like spinach, though slightly less, broccoli, cherries, especially tart cherries, berries, blueberries, cranberries, and even a nice cup of green or black tea contribute valuable quercetin to your dietary defense strategy. Variety is key. Now meet quercetin's potentially even more impressive natural cousin, fisetin. This is another flavonoid superstar that's been turning heads in the senolytic research world. Studies, like those led by Dr. Laura Niedernhofer, suggest fisetin might be more potent than quercetin at clearing certain types of senescent cells, particularly in mice. It seems to penetrate tissues effectively and has a knack for targeting the specific survival mechanisms that keep zombie cells stubbornly hanging on. It's like a more precise, better-equipped sniper compared to quercetin's saboteur role. Finding fisetin is another delicious adventure. Strawberries, the undisputed champion. Bright, juicy, sun-ripened strawberries are brimming with fisetin. That vibrant red color isn't just pretty, it signals the presence of valuable compounds like this one. Eating a generous bowl of strawberries isn't just a summer delight. It's like deploying a whole fleet of tiny, fisetin-armed drones on a seek and gently neutralize mission against cellular zombies. Imagine each little seed on the strawberry representing a potential strike. Mangoes, the king of fruits, brings more than just tropical sweetness to the party. That luscious orange flesh is a very good source of fisetin. Slice it fresh into salsa, blend it into smoothies, enjoy it cubed as a snack, or even grill it for a caramelized treat. You're adding a significant dose of this promising senolytic helper. Picture the golden orange hue as the glow of fisetin working its subtle magic inside you. Other fisetin friends: apples, yes, they pull double duty. Persimmons, especially the Fuyu variety when crisp. Grapes, and consequently wine, though moderation is key. Kiwis with their bright green flesh. Onions, another dual-threat food. And cucumbers, especially the skin, also contribute to your fisetin intake. Again, diversity strengthens your dietary defense. Here's the crucial realistic part, the yes but. While the science behind quercetin and fisetin is genuinely exciting, and loading up on these foods is undeniably fantastic for your overall health, we need to manage expectations. The dramatic results seen in mice, the sudden springiness, the fur regeneration, involved concentrated doses of these compounds, often delivered in purified forms or extracts, far exceeding what you typically get from a normal serving of apples or strawberries. It's the difference between taking a targeted, high-powered prescription medication and enjoying a wholesome, nutrient-rich diet. Think of eating quercetin and fisetin-rich foods not as a direct, immediate zombie annihilation, but as a powerful, ongoing strategy for creating a hostile environment for zombies. By subtly interfering with zombie survival signals, these compounds might nudge some senescent cells towards peaceful apoptosis over time. It's like the neighborhood watch politely but persistently asking the troublemaker to move on. These flavonoids support your body's own innate immune surveillance system. Your immune system has cells, like natural killer cells and certain macrophages, that can recognize and clear senescent cells. Quercetin and fisetin seem to help enhance this natural garbage collection service. Think of it as training and empowering the local police force to handle the problem. By reducing overall cellular damage, thanks to antioxidants and supporting healthy cell function, you reduce the number of cells getting pushed into that senescent zombie state in the first place. Prevention is always better than cure. Putting it on your plate, practically and deliciously. This isn't about force-feeding yourself foods you hate. It's about weaving these powerhouses into your everyday eating in enjoyable ways. Breakfast, top your oatmeal or yogurt with a generous handful of strawberries and sliced apples. Add a sprinkle of capers to your avocado toast for a surprising savory kick. Lunch. Build vibrant salads packed with dark leafy kale or spinach, loaded with red onion slices, broccoli florets, and maybe some apple chunks. Add capers to tuna or chicken salad sandwiches. Enjoy a side of cucumber slices with the skin on. Dinner. Sauté onions, red or yellow, as the flavorful base for countless dishes. Soups, stews, stir-fries, pasta sauces. Roast broccoli tossed with olive oil and garlic. Enjoy a mango salsa with grilled fish or chicken. Add capers to piccata sauce or sprinkle over roasted vegetables. Snacks. Munch on apples with nut butter. Enjoy a bowl of fresh strawberries, grapes, or kiwi. Keep cucumber spears handy for a refreshing crunch. Beverages. Sip on green tea or black tea. Blend strawberries or mango into smoothies. A word on supplements. Proceed with care. You might see quercetin or fisetin supplements on the shelf. While tempting, especially after hearing about the mouse studies, caution is warranted. Dosing is uncertain. The optimal dose for a human senolytic effect isn't clearly established. The amounts used effectively in mice don't always translate directly, and high doses might be needed. How well your body absorbs these compounds from a pill can vary. Food sources often come with other natural compounds that might help absorption. Potential interactions. High doses of quercetin, in particular, can interact with certain medications, including blood thinners like warfarin, antibiotics like cyclosporin, and some chemotherapy drugs. Fisetin might also have interactions. Side effects. High supplemental doses can sometimes cause headaches, stomach upset, or tingling sensations in some people. Therefore, food first. Enjoy the rich variety of apples, onions, capers, strawberries, mangoes, and their supporting cast. They deliver quercetin, fisetin, and a whole symphony of other beneficial vitamins, minerals, fiber, and antioxidants in a safe, balanced, and delicious package. If you are seriously considering high-dose supplements specifically for a senolytic effect, it is absolutely essential to discuss this with your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional. They can help you weigh potential benefits against risks and check for interactions with your current medications. The science of senolytics is a thrilling frontier. While we eagerly await the results of human trials and the potential development of refined therapies, we are far from powerless. By consciously choosing to fill our plates with nature's own subtle zombie-managing compounds, those quercetin-rich apples, onions, and capers, those fisetin-loaded strawberries and mangoes, we actively participate in creating a healthier internal environment. We support our body's natural defenses, gently discourage the persistence of toxic senescent cells, and stack the deck in favor of healthier, more resilient aging. It's a delicious, daily act of cellular kindness. So, next time you bite into a crisp apple or savor a juicy strawberry, remember, you're not just enjoying a tasty snack, you're sending reinforcements to your internal neighborhood watch, helping keep those cellular zombies in check, one delicious bite at a time. All right. We've talked about the power of daily habits, those apples, onions, strawberries, and mangoes acting like tiny cellular cleanup crews. We've explored senolytic drugs being tested in brave childhood cancer survivors at places like St. Jude. But now, let's shift gears and peek into the truly ambitious frontiers, the stuff that feels like it's pulled straight from science fiction, but is actually unfolding in labs right now. Scientists aren't just tinkering around the edges of aging anymore. They're asking revolutionary questions. What if we could reprogram our cells to be young again? What if we could train our immune system to hunt down aging's toxic troublemakers like a relentless, intelligent assassin? What if a single shot could act like a vaccine against aging itself? Buckle up, because this is where things get wild, hopeful, and incredibly fascinating. CAR T-cell therapy, turning your body's own soldiers into zombie hunters. Remember those pesky zombie cells, the senescent ones, we keep evicting with apples and experimental drugs? Well, scientists at Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory and Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center had a truly brilliant idea. They thought, Our immune system is already designed to hunt down damaged or dangerous cells, like cancer or infected cells. Why not teach it to specifically target and eliminate senescent zombie cells too? Here's how it works, and it's genuinely clever. They start with a type of immune cell called a T cell. You can think of T cells as your body's elite special forces, constantly patrolling and ready for action. The scientists then genetically engineer these T cells in the lab. They give them a brand new weapon, a special sensor called a multi-chimeric antigen receptor, or CAR for short. This CAR is designed like a highly specific key that only fits one lock, a protein called UPAR, urokinase plasminogen activator receptor. Why UPAR? Because as we age, senescent cells start wearing this UPAR protein like a bright neon sign on their surface, screaming, "I'm damaged." Healthy cells, meanwhile, barely show it. It's the perfect target. So, these engineered soldiers, now called CAR T cells, are infused back into the body. Armed with their new UPAR sensing cars, they start patrolling. When they bump into a senescent cell flashing that UPAR signal, boom, they latch on and destroy it. It's like giving your immune system a brand new set of highly specific zombie-detecting goggles and a precise laser gun. Now, the results in mice have been nothing short of astonishing. Think about an older mouse, maybe the equivalent of a 70-year-old human. It's getting a bit slow, maybe a bit chubby. Its blood sugar control isn't what it used to be. Scientists fed some younger mice a really unhealthy high-fat diet, making them obese and metabolically broken, fast-forwarding their aging. Then they gave them just one single dose of these anti-UPAR CAR T cells. What happened? The mice lost weight. Their blood sugar levels improved dramatically. Their bodies handled insulin better. They even had more energy and could run longer on their little treadmills. And when they looked at the tissues, fewer zombie cells in the pancreas, liver, and fat. Even more mind-blowing, giving a single dose to young, healthy mice seemed to act like an aging shield. It helped prevent the metabolic decline and weight gain they'd normally develop later in life, even if they ate poorly. Dr. Corina Amor Vegas, a key scientist behind this work, puts it excitedly. If we give it to aged mice, they rejuvenate. If we give it to young mice, they age slower. No other therapy right now can do this. The magic here isn't just the zombie killing, it's the living part of this living drug. Unlike a pill you have to take every day, these CAR T cells can potentially stick around in your body for years, maybe even decades. They can multiply, patrol, and remember their target. Dr. Amor Vegas highlights this beautifully. T cells have the ability to develop memory and persist in your body for really long periods. Think about patients who need treatment multiple times per day versus you get an infusion, and then you're good to go for multiple years. Imagine getting one treatment in your 50s that helps keep your metabolism humming and your tissues cleaner well into your 70s. Of course, translating this perfectly to humans is the next big hurdle. Researchers are eyeing conditions like severe metabolic syndrome, fatty liver disease, or even osteoarthritis, places where zombie cells are major culprits. The safety bar is high. We're not treating terminal cancer here, but the potential is staggering. Epigenetic reprogramming, resetting the cellular instruction manual. Now, let's dive into something even more fundamental. If CAR T cells are like sending in elite cleaners, epigenetic reprogramming is like finding the master reset button for the cell itself. To understand this, we need to revisit that city blueprint inside every cell, your DNA. But your DNA isn't just a static blueprint. It's more like an incredibly dense instruction manual. And critically, not every instruction needs to be read all the time in every cell. Your heart cells need different chapters open than your skin cells, right? This is where the epigenome science comes in. Think of it as a layer of billions of tiny sticky notes, highlighters, and bookmarks on top of your DNA manual. These epigenetic marks tell the cell which pages to read carefully, which genes to turn on, which pages to bookmark for later, and which entire sections to glue shut and ignore. It's what keeps a heart cell acting like a heart cell and not suddenly deciding it's a brain cell. Here's the crucial aging problem. Over time, this epigenome gets damaged and messy. It's like the instruction manual gets dropped in a puddle. The ink smudges, highlighters fade, sticky notes fall off, pages get stuck together randomly. The carefully placed bookmarks get lost. The cell can't find the right instructions easily. It might start reading the wrong chapters, turning on genes for inflammation that should stay silent, and silencing genes vital for repair and maintenance. The cell forgets what it's supposed to be doing. It becomes confused, sluggish, and prone to errors. This epigenetic noise is a massive driver of the aging process. For years, scientists knew a way to completely reset this manual. Nobel laureate Dr. Shinya Yamanaka discovered that by forcefully turning on just 4 specific genes, the Yamanaka factors, OKT4, SOX2, KLF4, c-MYC, and DAO, you could take a mature cell, like a skin cell, and rewind it all the way back to an embryonic-like stem cell state. Its entire epigenome is wiped clean, reset to a blank, youthful slate. This rewound cell, an induced pluripotent stem cell, or iPSC, loses its identity and can potentially become any cell type again. Amazing for growing tissues in a dish, but terrifying in a living body. Why? Because embryonic cells divide rapidly and uncontrollably. Trying this full Yamanaka reset in a whole animal caused massive tumors and chaos. It was like demolishing an old building in a crowded city with no rebuilding plan. Utter disaster. Enter Dr. David Sinclair and his team at Harvard. They asked a daring question. What if you didn't need to rewind the cell all the way back to an embryonic state? What if you could just rewind it back to a younger, healthier version of itself? Instead of demolishing the building, could you meticulously restore it to its former glory? Instead of wiping the hard drive completely, could you just remove the corrupt files and restore a clean backup from a few years ago? Their groundbreaking approach, published in 2023, ditched the risky gene therapy. Instead, they used chemical cocktails, combinations of specific known molecules. Some were already being studied for other things. The key was finding the precise blend and timing. They applied these cocktails to old cells, like damaged retinal cells from old mice, which contribute to vision loss, and aged human skin cells. The results? Within less than a week, these old cells began to transform. Under the microscope, it was visible rejuvenation. Those smudges on the instruction manual lifted, the lost bookmarks replaced, the stuck pages carefully unstuck. The epigenome was being partially reset. The cells weren't becoming embryonic. They were regaining the epigenetic signature of much younger, healthier versions of themselves. The consequences were profound. These youngified cells started behaving like energetic youngsters again. Crucially, their DNA repair crews, which had become slow and inefficient with age, suddenly sprang back into action, fixing broken DNA strands much better. Their cellular trash disposal, autophagy, ramped up dramatically, efficiently clearing out years of accumulated junk. damaged proteins, worn-out mitochondria that had been gumming up the works. Even some of those grumpy zombie cells, sensing their epigenome shifting towards health, actually underwent peaceful programmed cell death. For old retinal cells, this meant regaining function, a tantalizing hint that this approach could restore vision. Aging vaccines, training the immune system for long-term patrol. Finally, let's talk about the concept of an aging vaccine. While the name might conjure images of a single jab granting immortality, the reality is more nuanced and still incredibly promising. The idea, pioneered by researchers like Dr. Toru Minamino and conceptually linked to the CAR-T work, is this. Could we train the body's own immune system to recognize senescent zombie cells as threats continuously, just like it recognizes viruses, and eliminate them as they arise? Essentially, creating a long-lasting immune memory against aging's cellular troublemakers. Traditional vaccines work by showing the immune system a harmless piece of a pathogen, like the spike protein of a virus. The immune system learns to recognize it, creates antibodies and memory cells, and is primed to attack the real thing if it ever invades. The aging vaccine concept is similar, but targets an internal enemy, the senescent cell. Scientists identify specific proteins that are highly abundant on the surface of senescent cells, like UPAR or others such as GPNMB, glycoprotein non-metastatic melanoma protein, but are much rarer or absent on healthy cells. They then design a vaccine containing this target protein, or a fragment of it, sometimes combined with something to boost the immune response, an adjuvant. When injected, this vaccine acts like a wanted poster. It educates the immune system. See this protein? Cells wearing this are bad news. Find them and eliminate them. The hope is that this training session leads to the production of antibodies that can tag senescent cells for destruction, and more importantly, creates memory T cells that can actively seek and destroy them for a long time afterward. The results in mice have been highly encouraging. Vaccines targeting senescent cell markers like GPNMB have been shown to successfully reduce the number of these cells in tissues. Treated mice exhibited fewer signs of aging-related inflammation, improved physical function, and crucially, extended lifespans compared to unvaccinated mice. The appeal is similar to CAR-T cells, the potential for long-lasting effects from a limited number of doses, maybe just a primary shot and a booster. But it has a potential advantage. It leverages the body's entire natural immune system, potentially offering broader surveillance and elimination without the complexity and cost of extracting, engineering, and reinfusing cells like in CAR-T therapy. Of course, challenges remain. Picking the absolute best target protein is critical to avoid accidentally damaging healthy cells that might have low levels. Ensuring the immune response is strong enough but not excessive, causing unwanted inflammation, is another hurdle. And translating the striking mouse lifespan data to humans is the biggest test of all. But the concept is powerful. A proactive way to train our internal defenses, to constantly police and remove one of aging's fundamental drivers. Wrapping up the future, cautious hope, and realistic timelines. So, there you have it. 3 glimpses into a future where aging might be tackled not just with better diets or pills, but with profound biological interventions. CAR-T cells as engineered immune assassins. Epigenetic reprogramming as a cellular reset button. Vaccines as long-term immune training against cellular senescence. The science behind each is solid, grounded in our deepening understanding of aging's mechanisms, and the early results, particularly in mice, are compelling enough to justify serious excitement and investment. But let's temper that excitement with a healthy dose of reality. Mice are not humans. Our biology is more complex, our lifespans are much longer, and the safety requirements for treatments aimed at generally healthy aging people are astronomically high. Turning these concepts into safe, effective, and widely available human therapies will take years, likely decades, of rigorous research. Human trials for CAR T cells against aging-related diseases and epigenetic reprogramming for vision loss are pioneering steps, but they are just the first steps. We also need to think carefully about who gets these therapies first. It makes sense to initially test them in people suffering from specific, severe age-related conditions where zombie cells or epigenetic dysfunction are clear drivers, like severe frailty, early Alzheimer's, or aggressive macular degeneration. Proving benefit and safety, there could pave the way for broader, preventative use. Cost is another huge factor. Current CAR T therapy for cancer can cost $500,000. Making these sophisticated treatments accessible, not just luxury items for the wealthy, is a major challenge society will need to address. And we must always be mindful of unintended consequences. Could eliminating too many senescent cells impair wound healing? Could epigenetic reprogramming, if not perfectly controlled, accidentally nudge a cell towards cancer? These risks are being actively studied, and scientists are building in safety features, like kill switches for CAR T cells, to mitigate them. Despite the challenges, the direction of travel is clear. The old view of aging as an inevitable, monolithic process is crumbling. We are increasingly seeing it as a mosaic of interconnected mechanisms, like zombie cells, epigenetic noise, mitochondrial decline, and stem cell exhaustion. The therapies we explored are powerful tools potentially targeting specific pieces of that mosaic. The ultimate goal isn't necessarily immortality, it's extending health span. The number of years we live in good health, free from debilitating disease. Imagine being 80 with the vitality and resilience of a 50-year-old. That's the revolution these approaches promise. It's not about stopping the clock entirely, but about making sure the clock ticks much, much slower, and that when it does tick, it marks years of active, engaged, and healthy life. The future of aging isn't just about living longer, it's about living better, for far longer than we ever thought possible. And science is now building the tools to make that future a reality. Your daily toolkit, turning science into action. So, we've journeyed through the wild frontiers of science, from zombie cell assassins and cellular reprogramming to potential aging vaccines. It's heady stuff, painting a future where aging might be more manageable than we ever dreamed. But let's plant our feet firmly back on the ground, right here, right now. Because while those labs are buzzing with incredible potential, the most powerful anti-aging technology available today isn't locked away in a futuristic facility. It's nestled in your daily choices. It's the quiet power you hold in your hands, your kitchen, your schedule, and your mindset. Aging isn't fixed in the sense of being completely stoppable or reversible for humans outside very specific lab conditions, yet. But Barbara Morris hit the nail on the head. You hold real power. Right now, not decades from now, the key isn't waiting for a magic pill. It's about dramatically slowing the clock, compressing the years of decline, and stretching out your vibrant, healthy health span. Think of it like patching leaks in a boat while engineers design a whole new hull. You keep sailing smoother, longer, while the future gets built. Let's break down that power into actionable everyday superpowers. 1. Quit smoking. Stop shredding your inner mattress. Imagine your skin is a luxurious, bouncy mattress. The springs, that's collagen, the protein that gives your skin its plumpness, smoothness, and elasticity. The padding, that's elastin, letting it snap back after a smile or a frown. Now imagine someone taking a tiny blowtorch and a pair of industrial scissors to that mattress every time you light up a cigarette. That's essentially what smoking does. The thousands of chemicals in cigarette smoke don't just stain your fingers and yellow your teeth. They launch a vicious attack inside your body. Collagen carnage. Smoke directly damages the fibroblasts, the little factories in your skin that produce collagen and elastin. It also ramps up enzymes called matrix metalloproteinases, MMPs. Think of MMPs as hyper-aggressive demolition crews. Normally they help with controlled cleanup and remodeling, but under the assault of smoke, they go rogue, shredding healthy collagen and elastin fibers far faster than your body can replace them. The result? Skin loses its bounce and structure, leading to deeper wrinkles, especially those dreaded vertical lines around the mouth, smoker's lines, and premature sagging. Blood flow. Blockade. Nicotine is a potent vasoconstrictor. It tightens your blood vessels, drastically reducing blood flow to your skin. Your skin cells are starved of oxygen and vital nutrients. Imagine the mattress springs rusting and the padding getting thin and lumpy because the delivery trucks can't get through. Oxidative onslaught. Cigarette smoke is packed with free radicals, unstable molecules that wreak havoc, damaging DNA, proteins, and fats in skin cells. It's like throwing corrosive acid onto the mattress frame and fabric. Beyond skin deep. This damage isn't superficial. Smoking accelerates aging in every organ. It damages lung tissue, increases heart disease risk, and is a major cause of cancers. It literally shortens telomeres, the protective caps on your chromosomes that act like the plastic tips on shoelaces, preventing them from fraying. Shorter telomeres equal faster cellular aging. The power move. Quitting smoking is the single most impactful thing many people can do to slow visible and internal aging. It's tough, absolutely, but the benefits start immediately. Within weeks, circulation improves. Within months, skin texture and tone can visibly brighten as oxygen and nutrients flood back. The demolition crews, MMPs, calm down, and collagen production can gradually recover. It's like finally kicking out the vandals and starting repairs on your beautiful mattress. Support is key. Talk to your doctor about patches, gum, medications, or programs. Your future, younger-looking and feeling self will be eternally grateful. 2. Drink less alcohol. Ditch the internal dehydrator. That glass of wine to unwind, the celebratory beer, they feel like part of life. And in moderation, they might be. But alcohol is a master dehydrator, and dehydration is kryptonite for youthful skin and cellular function. The moisture vacuum. Alcohol is a diuretic. It tells your kidneys to flush out more water than you're taking in. This systemic dehydration hits your skin hard. Plump, hydrated skin cells reflect light beautifully, giving you that healthy glow. Dehydrated cells shrivel up, making skin look dull, flaky, and emphasizing every fine line and wrinkle. Think of a juicy grape versus a raisin. Collagen crunch. Again, just like smoking, alcohol ramps up those destructive MMP enzymes, accelerating the breakdown of precious collagen. Chronic heavy drinking also impairs your liver function. Your liver is crucial for detoxifying your body and metabolizing hormones. When it's overloaded with alcohol, toxins build up, and hormone imbalances can occur, further impacting skin health and contributing to issues like facial redness or spider veins. Sleep sabotage. While a nightcap might make you feel drowsy, alcohol significantly disrupts your sleep architecture, particularly the deep, restorative REM sleep. As we learned earlier, sleep is when your brain flushes out toxins like Alzheimer's-linked beta amyloid, and your body does its major cellular repair work. Poor sleep, accelerated aging, inside and out. Waking up after heavy drinking often shows it. Puffy eyes, sallow skin. That's dehydration and inflammation. Nutrient drain. Alcohol interferes with the absorption of essential vitamins and minerals crucial for skin health and cellular repair, like vitamins A, C, D, E, B vitamins, and zinc. The power move. Moderation is key. What does that mean? Generally, up to 1 drink per day for women and up to 2 for men. But less is often better. Think mindful drinking. Savor 1 glass. Drink plenty of water alongside it. 1 glass of water per alcoholic drink is a good rule. And have several alcohol-free days each week. Notice how your skin feels plumper, your eyes look brighter, and your energy levels improve when you cut back. Your cells are quietly cheering as you replenish their water supply and dial down the inflammatory chaos. 3. Manage stress. Calm the cortisol storm. Stress happens. A near miss in traffic, a looming deadline, an argument. Your body's fight or flight response kicks in perfectly. Hormones like cortisol and adrenaline minor surge, giving you the focus and energy to handle the immediate threat. This is healthy, acute stress. The problem is chronic stress. The unrelenting pressure of modern life, financial worries, caregiving burdens, constant digital notifications. When cortisol levels stay elevated for weeks, months, or years, it's like leaving your car engine running at full redline indefinitely. It wears everything down. 4. Barbara Morris was onto something. Purpose is potent. Retirement is a contagious, debilitating disease. Don't get so intoxicated by the roses that you don't come back and do something useful. This might sound harsh, but Barbara Morris, advocating for vibrant aging long before it was trendy, pinpointed a crucial truth. Stagnation accelerates aging. Humans thrive on engagement, growth, and purpose. When we stop learning, creating, contributing, and connecting, something vital dims. The brain needs challenge. Just like muscles, your brain needs exercise to stay sharp. Learning new skills, a language, instrument, craft, tackling puzzles, reading complex material, engaging in stimulating conversation. These build cognitive reserve, helping your brain resist age-related decline and diseases like dementia. Retirement from a job shouldn't mean retirement from mental engagement. Purpose fuels resilience. Having a reason to get up in the morning, whether it's volunteering, mentoring, pursuing a passion project, caring for family, or mastering a new hobby, provides structure, social connection, and a powerful sense of meaning. This combats depression and anxiety, which are closely linked to accelerated aging. Studies show people with strong purpose live longer, healthier lives. Community is key. Isolation is toxic. Staying socially connected through family, friends, clubs, faith groups, volunteer work provides emotional support, combats loneliness, and keeps you engaged with the world. Social engagement is consistently linked to better physical and mental health and longevity. The useful part. Useful doesn't necessarily mean paid work or grand achievements. It means feeling like you contribute, that you matter, that your existence has positive ripples. It could be tending a community garden, sharing wisdom with younger people, creating art, fostering animals, or simply being a supportive friend and listener. The power move. Actively cultivate your curiosity and purpose. What sparks your interest? What problem do you care about solving? What skill have you always wanted to learn? Who can you connect with or help? Make time for these things now. Don't wait for someday. Join a class, volunteer for a cause, pick up that old guitar, start writing, get involved in your community. Keep growing. Keep contributing. Keep those mental and social muscles flexed. Your zest for life is a potent anti-aging elixir. The synergy of simple things, your daily longevity cocktail. Here's the beautiful part. These actions don't work in isolation. They synergize powerfully. Eating a plant-rich diet, packed with those senolytic helpers like quercetin and fisetin plus antioxidants, directly combats the inflammation fueled by stress and smoking. Exercise improves sleep quality, reduces stress, boosts circulation, feeding your skin and brain, and helps manage weight. Managing stress protects your telomeres and reduces cortisol-driven damage. Wearing sunscreen daily prevents the single biggest external cause of skin aging. Quitting smoking and moderating alcohol remove major accelerants. Cultivating purpose and connection keeps your brain sharp and your spirit resilient. Think of each healthy choice as a deposit into your health span bank account. Some deposits are big, quitting smoking. Some are daily small change, choosing an apple over a candy bar, taking deep breaths during a stressful call, applying sunscreen. But they all add up, compounding over time. You're not just preventing disease, you're actively building a foundation of vitality that makes every day brighter and more energetic. The person who lives to 150 isn't necessarily waiting for a miracle drug. They're likely already doing the work. They're moving their body with joy, nourishing it with colorful plants, protecting their skin from the sun, managing their stress with intention, fostering deep connections, and pursuing passions that light them up. They've ditched the habits that accelerate decay. They understand that aging is not a passive process you just endure. It's an active journey you can profoundly influence. And just like that, we've journeyed deep into the silent war your cells wage while you rest. Remember, every night isn't just sleep. It's your body's secret repair lab, fighting aging, one zombie cell at a time. If this felt like a light bulb moment, give this video a thumbs up. It tells me you want more deep dives like this. And if you haven't yet, tap subscribe and hit the bell. You'll never miss our next sleep and science adventure. Before you go, I'd love to know, where are you tuning in from right now? Drop a comment below. Watching from Tokyo at 3 a.m. Need these aging tips? Coffee in hand in Brazil. Ready to sleep better tonight. In bed in Berlin. Sending gratitude. Your stories fuel this channel. Let's build the world's coziest, science-loving tribe. Tonight, when you drift off, remember, you're not just sleeping. You're healing. You're rejuvenating. You're turning back your cellular clock. Keep trusting the magic of rest. Until next time, sleep deeply, dream big, and wake up kinder to your body. This is Hafee Sleep, signing off with a wish for your most restorative night yet. Good night, wherever you are.